What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you guys through my upcoming transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 23. Now Game Week 23, the next double game week in a couple of consistent double game weeks, but now we're going to focus on those Man City and those Arsenal assets. But don't worry, we'll still be taking a look at Game Week 22, which is obviously the double game week that we're currently in. United still facing Leeds tomorrow night, but I'll give you guys an update on how the squad is currently looking. As with every transfer plan that we have covered this season, first we're going to take a look at the review, then the transfer plan heading into the upcoming double Game Week 23. But stay tuned to the end of the video where I will be giving you guys an update on the Fantasy Football Fix extension, as they have made a massive update change. So that's what you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So first up, heading into the Game Week 22 double game week review, as you guys can see bottom right hand side, currently thankfully on a green arrow, and as far as I know, I think the green arrow is confirmed, as we still have the most popular 3 assets from Manchester United still to come. So I do think my calculations are correct there. The green arrow should hopefully be confirmed, as we currently had a green arrow from 250k to just below that 200k mark. 69 points currently in terms of double game week 22, and let me know in the comments down below how you guys got on. Was it a green arrow? Was it a red arrow? And if you did triple captain Rashford, you're probably smiling right now. Now a little bit of a view to the future talking point, 1 free transfer and 3.3 million left in the bank, so quite a significant upgrade can be made heading into the upcoming double game week. I'm going to start off the Game Week 22 review with the bench. As you guys can see, the benching debate was pretty accurate this week. Luckily, we started Danny Ward, Ake, Greenwood, and Patterson all on our bench. The only player that might come to punish us is Greenwood, and a new manager who kind of knows what's going to happen. Maybe Leeds will have that new manager bounce like Everton, and Greenwood might actually start that fixture, but I think that he probably won't. Now in terms of Nathan Ake, obviously lost the clean sheet to Harry Kane, an option that we do have in our team, so I was pretty happy that I got that prediction right. Now I'm going to bring in our starting goalkeeper Kepa yet again, because it's us to see that we did get this kind of goalkeeper decision correct. But to be honest, I wasn't really considering starting Danny Ward anyways. So Kepa met us with a lovely 10 points, kind of another game week in a row where he scored a massive amount of points. He got 1 save point and then 3 bonus points. Now I do feel a bit unlucky if you guys don't own Kepa. I think the other goalkeepers haven't really lived up to the hype that they would have had over Kepa. But if you guys did watch the Elite 64 team selection last week, you'll know that about 90% of the Elite 64 do own him, so therefore pretty much the goalkeeper to own. Now will this continue? Let's hope so. That Chelsea defense with some new signings looks to be quite solid, but only time will tell. Heading into the rest of our defensive department, a team that looks solid defensively but unfortunately conceded to Everton and actually lost that game 1-0 to Everton is going to be the Arsenal assets, and that's why Ben White only got 2 points. Now overall a little bit disappointing there, expected some more points from him, but I would have been a little bit more angry if Nathan Ake got a clean sheet on our bench. Next up is going to be Luke Shaw, still has a fixture coming up, Leeds at home. Not really expecting too much from him in that game, as Leeds are quite an attacking side, but they did just lose to Nottingham Forest 1-0. Now Luke Shaw managed to get an assist in that first game, which is why he got 5 points, so this was no kind of clean sheet and 1 yellow card. Then we have Trippier, who finally has lost his clean sheet and no bonus points. What a miracle this has actually been, not for our own team, as obviously we do own him, but everyone kind of owns him within the top ranks, so any points gained were pretty much null. So he ended up on 2 points, West Ham drawing that fixture 1-1 against Newcastle, who seems to have dropped off from the winning way of things. So overall our defensive department wasn't too kind of great, except for Kepa is an absolute hero once again. But now moving on to midfield department, and one of the transfers I did do this week was to actually take Kevin De Bruyne down to Odegaard. On paper this move actually paid off. Odegaard got 2 points, whereas Kevin De Bruyne got 1 point after a suspected benching, which actually came true. Now in terms of that Arsenal game, luckily the week we bring Arsenal assets in or complete the triple up, they have one of their worst games of the season, losing 1-0 to Everton. Now Odegaard in that fixture actually came off on about the 70-minute mark. There was some rumours about a potential injury, so please watch out for that news come the press conferences. But at least he does have the double game week coming up like Kevin De Bruyne. However, I would prefer the Man City asset, but obviously is a lot more expensive. Now because of that kind of downgrade of Kevin De Bruyne to Odegaard, I was able to upgrade Anthony to Bruno Fernandes, and I'm going to bring the United assets on screen right now. So let's talk about the more popular one, Rashford, 24 points currently, still a fixture to go, so 12 points in that fixture, already outperforming Erling Haaland for that double game week 20 captain. So if you guys did activate your triple captain, used it on Rashford, looks like it was the play to go for, as he's very close to that kind of 15 mark that I always say should be the benchmark. So let's see what happens against Leeds. Hopefully he doesn't score too many points, but at my current rank, he actually is going to be getting me some net gains. But the more important one is going to be the Bruno Fernandes move. I took Anthony to Bruno Fernandes. I believe it was worth the free transfer. Yes, it might be slightly sideways, but you guys can just see in that first game against Crystal Palace, Bruno Fernandes scoring a penalty, getting bonus points, and still has that Leeds fixture coming up. Then in terms of Anthony, didn't really do that well against Crystal Palace, and now we've just had news drop that he is going to be injured for that Leeds fixture. So that transfer does look quite good. Probably going to keep hold of Bruno Fernandes, but I'll talk about that later in my transfer plan. The next up is going to be the ever consistent Mason Mount. He has a mediocre consistency as he only got 3 points, but I guess that outperformed someone like a Kevin De Bruyne. So Mason Mount will probably be on the way out for the future game weeks. Yes, he might be a mainstay in that kind of new form Chelsea squad, but to be honest, he isn't even performing with the players around him. So I was actually pretty happy with getting that clean sheet point this week. Really wanted an attacking return against Fulham, but I guess it is how it is sometimes. And the final midfielder to go for, probably the biggest talking point of the upcoming game week, is going to be Martinelli. Came off on the 59th minute, so yes, 1 minute away from getting an extra point, so he ended on only 1 point. Now the big thing about Martinelli is his playing time going to be going down? Always knew the signing of Trossard was going to kind of manage his minutes, but it seems like Trossard might actually win his place sooner or later. So yes, Martinelli is a big talking point, but I'll be going over him later in my transfer plan. Now the final department to go over is going to be those forwards. First player Erling Haaland only managed to get 1 touch, but 2 points for Game Week 22. So a super frustrating game actually against Spurs, but that Spurs game is always going to be a hard one for Man City, and only Haaland had barely any touches. Now I was super happy about that because his effective ownership at my rank was over 100%, so if you didn't captain him, any points would be kind of negative gains. Then moving on to the kind of striker of the moment, Harry Kane, super consistent, and that's why I was super glad I held on to him over Kevin De Bruyne. Now Harry Kane looks like a must-have from now to the end of the season, super consistent. Yes, he might not be getting those kind of 10-point plus scores, but if he's going to get 8 points every single game week, I'm not too mad at that. So happy I kept hold of him because Spurs have some nice fixtures coming up, and obviously he does play in blank Game Week 25. But as you guys can see in terms of the team, and this is why I kind of guaranteed the green arrow, Shaw, Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, the most popular kind of United assets to look at. I'm pretty sure there might be some points in there, and that's how I hope this green arrow gets only bigger. But you guys can let me know how you guys did in the comments down below or my Discord server where you can share your absolute wins. Now before we get on to the actual Game Week 23 or double Game Week 23 team selection and transfer plan, I want to go over the current context of the team. So why I do this, I know this might be slightly irritating, but I always like to give you guys the background, the context, so you guys can see what currently the team I have is and the changes that might come about. So one free transfer, 3.3 million left in the bank, so massive upgrade could be done, but what upgrade would that actually be? So I'm going to start off on our bench, and this week we do have a slight benching headache. Unfortunately, we'll be benching Luke Shaw against Leeds away. Now this might depend on what happens tomorrow night. If United look great, Leeds look shocking, I might actually start Luke Shaw in my starting 11. But currently my thinking is the defense I have currently, it's going to take a lot from Luke Shaw to actually replace one of them. Then we have Greenwood against United and Patterson who's out injured still, but I'll talk about him a little bit later on in terms of the extension. Now in terms of the goalkeeper department, I'm going to bring in Kepa right now because no debate this week. Spurs at home for Ward, whereas Kepa has West Ham away, and I do really trust that Chelsea defense in this one. Now will he keep a clean sheet? I don't exactly know, it's kind of a nice little derby there in terms of the London clubs, but let's hope for another 10-pointer from Kepa. Then moving into our backline, Ben White and Nathan Ake not going anywhere, both have double game weeks on hand. Yes, you might see some rotation in terms of both of them, but in my opinion not worth taking them out. Then finally, it's kind of Trippier versus Luke Shaw on our bench. I think that Trippier slightly edges it. Bournemouth away is a great game on paper, as they are still struggling to score. Then in terms of our attacking department, we've got Odegaard and Martinelli, the double game week, Brentford at home, Man City at home. 2 home games, so let's hope for goals in both of them. Then Rashford and Fernandes, our kind of continuation from double game week 22. They have a lovely fixture against Leeds away. In the final midfielder, Mason Mount, probably going to play out on the way out, has West Ham away. Might actually be quite a good fixture, but I don't really trust Mason Mount at the moment. Then finally our forward line, the obvious kind of captain, Erling Haaland. That's how I've put it on him already. Yes, he did struggle in that Spurs game, but that Aston Villa at home game is screaming goals to me, and this could be a Wolves at home all over again. Now if you guys still do have the triple captain, if you have the bench boost as well, I'd probably suggest using it this week, as Erling Haaland's still a great FPL asset. Then we also have Harry Kane against Leicester away, really keen for this game. I think that Harry Kane finally might get a double-digit return, as Leicester's still struggling defensively. But as you guys can see on screen, I think the team looks set up at the moment. The only bigger mission is going to be that Man City triple up, and let's address that now on the transfer plan. So post-production Dave, you're going to hop on this track because I actually recorded this video yesterday, and now we've had massive news dropping about double Game Week 25. So yes, not only is it going to be a blank Game Week 25, it's a double Game Week 25 for 4 confirmed teams. Now I'll be going through these kind of fixtures and these double game weeks in quite a quick detail, just because in future kind of videos we'll be going all over these in terms of my upcoming transfer plan. So you guys haven't seen my transfer plan as of yet, but the transfer plan's exactly the same, except there might be a bigger influence on those Arsenal assets. Now you guys will understand why when I mention the teams that double in Game Week 25, but I just want to put this out there that the rest of the video is completely relevant, as we do have a double Game Week 23 right in front of us. So in terms of that kind of double Game Week 25 teams, the first team is going to be those Liverpool assets, Crystal Palace away, Wolves at home. Now this team is a team that most people have kind of gone off of, but now they have a double Game Week 25. Are you guys jumping on a Mo Salah, a Trent, or even a Robertson? Now yes, there are some other kind of players to go for, a Darwin Núñez, a Gakpo if you guys want to look at them. But personally, I don't even know as a Liverpool fan if I'll be looking at these assets. In terms of the fixtures, Crystal Palace away, Wolves at home, kind of tougher games there. You would have seen that Wolves just beat Liverpool last game week. So we could have a replication, but at least this game is at Anfield. Now because that Wolves fixture as we move to Game Week 25, obviously Wolves are also double then. They have Fulham away and Liverpool away. But now moving on to a team that I'm pretty sure all of us own a double up, even a triple up. It's going to be those Arsenal assets with Leicester away and Everton at home. Two lovely games on paper. Now I'm sure Arteta will want to get revenge for that kind of Everton away defeat in Game Week 22. And this is kind of the reason I'm not really looking at those Liverpool options. Now the reason for that is that I could obviously go for Mo Salah, I could captain him, but in terms of Leicester and Everton at home, pretty sure I'll captain one of those Arsenal assets. So definitely kind of top on my list, and that's how I was telling you guys about a Martinelli, a Ben White. We might have some rotation concerns there, so if you want to go for them for a minus for it might even be worth it because of that double Game Week 25 fixture. Now the final team, obviously that Everton game has been moved. Now we have Everton against Aston Villa at home and Arsenal away. On paper, I mean Aston Villa at home might be a good game to go for, but can't see myself going for too many of those Everton assets, except for maybe a Tarkowski at his cheap price point. Now this makes me hope even more that Nathan Patterson's back for Game Week 25, as not only will he now have a game in blank Game Week 25, but now he has a double game week. So kind of a quick run through, but I just want to put this out there as you guys are watching this video that double Game Week 25 has been confirmed, but it hasn't really affected my Game Week 23 double Game Week transfer plans. So talking about that Man City triple up, there are some moves that I could kind of go for. A midfield start is obviously where I will be aiming, as I do have 5 in my starting 11. So obvious transfer this week, and I spoke about this in my transfer plan kind of last game week. It's going to be Mason Mount on the way out. So in terms of replacements, there's kind of 3 I could go for. We could go for a Jack Grealish, we could go for a Phil Foden if he's back fit, but I think Riyad Mahrez is the best selection to go for. Now yes, there might be some question marks about his playing time. Actually came off, I think, before the 60-minute mark in that Spurs game, but I think it was more of a situational thing and a formational change than anything else. So Mahrez, in my opinion, is still the best kind of attacker to go for in that Man City lineup, and that's why I think the Mason Mount to Mahrez kind of straight swap looks pretty strong. Another thing to note is Man City have some lovely fixtures after the double Game Week 23, Nottingham Forest away and then Bournemouth away. Great games on paper, but unfortunately they are kind of penciled in around that Champions League. So my current thinking is just kind of getting a Man City attacker in. Yes, they might not start every game, but with a double game week and lovely fixtures after that, even Mahrez off the bench might get you some points. So in terms of the transfer for this week, this looks like the penciled in move that I will be going for, but there are some other variations I could look at. Now before we talk about another variation in terms of Man City midfielder to get, I want to give you guys another dilemma, which is going to be all about Martinelli. So if you guys saw my team, you know I own Martinelli, I own Odegaard, I obviously don't own Saka, which could be a move I want to go for. Now what I currently think about this move, and is it worth a -4, obviously you only have one free transfer, this would be from -4 hit. But I just think between now and kind of a long-term move, because just remember Arsenal probably going to play in blank Game Week 28, so you're kind of getting a long-term pick here. So I think between now and whatever future game weeks you want to look at, I do think Saka over Martinelli might be worth it, just because Trossard might get the odd start, or Martinelli might get subbed earlier in the fixture. Whereas if you guys look at the current team, Saka is playing the majority of minutes, seems to be the star boy for Arsenal at the moment, and that's why I think he's kind of irreplaceable. So do I think Martinelli to Saka right now might be a move to go for? I do think so, but I have to kind of consider my other transfers in my future transfer plan. But if I wasn't going to make any transfers in the future, I would do this move, and that's why I think it might be worth a -4 hit. But please just make sure that your team structure and your kind of balance in the bank also matches this move. You guys can let me know in the comments down below if you want to go Martinelli to Odegaard, also think that might be worth it as long as Odegaard is kind of injury free. But let me know if you guys are also doing this move, Martinelli to Odegaard / Saka. Now the final transfer I want to go over is another variation to kind of bringing in a Man City midfielder, and that's going to be Bruno Fernandes out for the obvious Kevin De Bruyne. Now no, Kevin De Bruyne in this week after being benched against Spurs might be a bit of a weird one, but I think that he'll still be playing in those 2 double Game Week 23 fixtures. Now is Bruno to KDB worth a kind of move? I think in terms of a free transfer, 100%, but look, we won't be captaining Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland will be our captain for the upcoming game week. So my current thinking right now is the form of Kevin De Bruyne doesn't look that great. Yes, the fixtures look pretty strong, but Bruno Fernandes with some lovely fixtures as well. I think I'm willing to give Bruno the next 2 and then make the change after that. So that's why personally I do prefer the Mahrez move. I'm kind of bringing out Mason Mount who I don't actually want in my squad, whereas Bruno Fernandes I'm fine with keeping for the next 2 fixtures. But let's just see how it kind of goes. Maybe if Pep says that Mahrez won't be playing for the future or is injured or something like that, Kevin De Bruyne could be an alternative to that Man City triple up. But you guys let me know what moves you guys prefer and what moves are you guys doing for the upcoming double game week. Now the last talking point I want to go over is all about the Fantasy Football Fix FPL extension. Now you guys, if you're using Google Chrome on your PC, on your laptop, whatever you're using, you can actually get this extension for free. So what this extension does is it kind of accesses the Fantasy Football Fix database where you guys can get all your stats and your projected points. So what you guys can see on screen right now, if you go over to the Fantasy website, you're going to get an extra tab called the Planner tab where you guys can make all your future transfers. So that's what you guys can see right now on screen on the left hand side, and then there's obviously more information. So you guys can see that you get 5 drafts. I've selected the second draft just because I've already made changes to the first draft, and as you can see by the projected points. Then below that you have the kind of game weeks projected points for the next 5 game weeks, and obviously your free transfers and obviously your bank balance. Now what Fix has basically done with the extension is given you a future planner where you guys can make transfers. You don't have to lock them in, don't worry. Just because you've kind of saved your draft doesn't mean that the transfers are made. And that's why you guys can play around with it as you do please. Now I'm going to scroll down right now and show you that there is some more variation to the kind of team selection on the transfer page. And that's going to be done with the 4 tabs at the top. So the standard page is going to be your kind of team selection as it is. We got the fixtures as they were in terms of the kind of vanilla or normal FPL page. But there are some other variations that you guys can look at. So the first one is going to be the fixtures tab, and that's going to be kind of the variation of the fixture difficulty according to Fix. So you guys can see the next 5 fixtures for your various players, which is quite useful if you are planning ahead. For example, you can see Nathan Ake there, the double game week. The first game against Aston Villa at home is going to be a green one, but the other half circle is a red one because of the Arsenal game. We're then going to move on to the prices, then this is going to show your purchase and your selling price, what is your current price. So if you guys want to make some changes according to the traditional transfer page, you can also do so. Then the final tab is going to be all about projected points, as obviously from Fantasy Football Fix's algorithm. I talk about projected points constantly, and that's why I really do like this feature. So not only can you guys plan for future transfers, you can also plan for future team selections. Maybe one player in your starting 11 has a lower projected points than one of your bench options. You can always make that switch. But I personally prefer the kind of standard page. Let's go back to that and discuss our future transfer plan. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to skip ahead to Game Week 25. You can do that at the top with the left and the right arrows, as I want to show you guys my blank Game Week team. So with no transfers made, you guys can see that I've Trippier, I've got Fernandes, I've got Rashford, Luke Shaw out, and then I've got Greenwood on the bench and also Patterson. So no transfers made, I've got about 4 blank Game Week players. So let's sub on Patterson right now because I do actually hope that he's back fit. So under Sean Dyche, we've seen that Everton have improved dramatically, but unfortunately with Patterson, I don't exactly think he's going to be back fit for Game Week 25. Now in terms of the transfer moves that I could potentially do, there are some selections that I've been looking at, and I think the 2 players that I might want to transfer out are going to be Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes. Luke Shaw, I'm going to go over the fixtures right now on screen. You can see that Leeds at home in Game Week 22, Leeds away in Game Week 23, Game Week 24 against Leicester, which I'll still have him, but Game Week 25 onwards doesn't look that great. Obviously Liverpool now a great fixture, Southampton at home is also a great one, but after that Brighton away and Newcastle away, which doesn't look too great. So I think that Luke Shaw could be on the way out as well as Bruno Fernandes. I will have some funds to kind of play around with, could downgrade Bruno Fernandes, upgrade Luke Shaw or vice versa, depending on what I want to go for. But at least now what you're seeing on screen is a kind of future plan for my transfers, and personally I think that's quite valuable in terms of your planning. But now let's go back to Game Week 23. I want to kind of discard the changes. I don't want to have any of these changes saved to my starting 11. So let's go back to 23 and start again. So the move I was planning for Game Week 23 is going to be Mahrez in for Mason Mount. So let's lock that move in. Now don't worry, just because I've kind of locked it in and saved the changes doesn't mean that it's going to be a nailed move. This is simply just a planner. So in terms of the next game week looks pretty strong. The only change might be Trippier out for Luke Shaw. Yes, Liverpool at home is a great fixture to be honest, but I mean, maybe Shaw against Leicester is a better one. Let's just kind of save this move to our changes and head to that blank Game Week 25. Now in terms of blank Game Week 25, the exact same kind of team structure. Mason Mount was facing Spurs. Now we have Riyad Mahrez against Bournemouth, better fixture on paper, but unfortunately we still have Luke Shaw, Patterson, Fernandes, Trippier, and also Greenwood and Rashford out. But in terms of those previous moves, could downgrade Shaw, upgrade Fernandes, or vice versa. Just depends on how much money and what players I want to target in Game Week 25. Now if I do that and Patterson is back fit, I should have a full starting 11. So let's really hope that the Everton man comes back in clutch. But as you guys can see, in terms of the normal kind of FPL website, you had to use kind of external websites, but now you can use the traditional FPL website with this extension and you can see your future plans. Another thing to add is that this extension, it's called FPL Plus by Fix, will remain free until earlier next season whilst in beta, so you guys can access all these kind of projected points, all this planning structure for free from now to the end of the season. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I'm using this extension quite extensively now. Don't have to go to other websites to do it. I can do it in the simple FPL website. You guys can check it out in the link in the description down below. But that's your video guys. Hope you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We've got a chip strategy video coming up tomorrow as well as the team selection on Thursday. So make sure that you guys turn that bell notification on. But I'm going to sign off Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.